Good afternoon, YouTube. So it's Friday afternoon. I made it home, basically. Yeah, the week started out bad. I said I was going to say something about that on my last post. This is week 40. First day, Monday, I made like, $38 or something like that, $35 for the trip and a few for the mileage. I went about 17 miles, I think, and then I sat around 7 hours waiting on a trip. Picked up a relay here at the yard, took it to its delivery point, which was around the corner, and came back and sat and sat and sat and sat. And if I'd known it was going to be that dead, I'd left my clothes at home. So if I'd have known it was going to be that dead, I would have went way earlier. So I went home after about 2 hours and came back. I went home. I got my next assignment 7 hours later. I was here for 2, maybe 3. I don't even remember. But 7 hours after I was done with the trip, they came up with another one and said, well, it's ready now. Even though it wasn't delivering until, I don't know, like 11, 12 o'clock Tuesday, something like that. It was ridiculous. But, so yeah, I got here Tuesday morning and took that. Oh, let me pause this before my battery dies. Okay, I'm back. Like you noticed. Where was I? So I delivered that trip on Tuesday, and I mean it was a crap week, pretty much. Let me see here. I did. I don't have to go there to do that. I can do that right here. So I went. What was it? 400 miles on. Where are we at? There you are. Okay, so about 412 miles on Tuesday, 7.5 hours drive time. Wednesday, I got a trip Tuesday evening that wasn't delivering until Thursday morning, which was kind of weird, but it happens. But it would take me all day to get there Wednesday, so it worked out. So Wednesday morning, woke up, grabbed my trip, and took it to a few miles from the drop point, or an hour from the drop point. I think it was an hour from the drop point. And then delivered it Thursday morning, grabbed another trip. I got about 528 miles in Thursday, and then today I've gone 304 miles. But today was bad. I ended up at the Atlanta Operations Center on Thursday evening. Barely made it there. I almost ran out of time on my clock because I was sitting around for, well, there it says I didn't run out of time. Anyway, it says I still had a couple hours left. I don't know. I think it's messed up because it said I was out of drive time, but I had an hour left on drive time, supposedly a little over 2 left on my on duty. So it should have been all right. Something didn't work out right. It's not adding stuff right or something. I don't know. Anyway, so I ended up at the Atlanta Operations Center Thursday evening. Got an assignment for a relay that had no trailer number or anything attached with it. And that'll happen sometimes. That means they haven't picked it up or registered it or something like that. It turns out it was coming from Rome, Georgia, which was down the road. And it made it to the OC, I think at 5 something that morning. I'm not sure. But when I woke up, it was there. It had a trailer number and everything with it Friday. And it was going around the corner. Good 18-mile trip. So I went over there, dropped it off, got it unloaded, came back to the OC, and was waiting on my assignment. Because usually, if you're on your way home, like I said, it takes them a while to get you something. And I was expecting it to be a little while. So I figured I'd run back to the OC and chill out. But the minute I pulled in the OC parking lot and was about to park my truck and trailer, I got another trip going to South Carolina, which I'm supposed to be going home. So I called my DBL and asked them if this is basically going to my house and then going to its destination. And he said, yeah, that's what's happening. And it was not my house, but the drop yard over here in Savannah. So that's where I'm at now. And one thing you can do, like if you come work for us, I'd say actually for any company, if you're sitting under a load and you never know what's going to happen at your house. So if you're sitting under a load and you know you're going to have a couple of days off and it's a secure yard, unhook from the trailer and either park next to it or park where you usually park if you're at your own park's location. Because if an emergency happens at your house or anywhere else and you have to go, you're going to be underneath that trailer and they still need the customer to get their product, especially if it's due on a certain day. If it's not, and you know you got an next 3 or 4 days and the emergency happens, whatever. Do you, okay? I do it this way, and that's the logical way to do it because, I mean, if something happens, you wouldn't want to be the guy that has to go over there and pick that trailer up. And then there's a truck under it, and there's nobody around that has keys for the truck unless you happen to have a spare, because they keep spares in certain locations. But you wouldn't know that. Anyway, so my week turned out okay, and I'm sitting under the load, so I'm not getting paid for this trip. I will be getting paid. We get paid every week, so I will be getting the money for this trip on next week's check, even though I'm still under the load because the assignment started this week. Which means once I drop it Monday, it'll be registered as a completed trip, and it'll be done. So yeah, that was it. It's a bad week because the first day was like $38 and it's 15 miles and didn't do nothing. Another thing you're going to find is, other than us paying HHG, which is Household Movers Group, which is zip code, not practical miles, which is the actual mileage on your odometer. Even the odometer is off, and that's in every truck I've been in so far. Of course, I've only been in 2, but I can go to my GPS and look it up, and it'll be slightly off from the actual mileage that I have driven. But that's about it. So I'm going to check the questions that someone's been asking, and then might add something to the end of this. I might not. If I don't, it'll be in the next video. Alright, so I'm about to go home. You guys take it easy.